In the year of 1986, a game was released that would start something wonderful. That game was Metroid for the NES, a maze-like exploration game focused on action in a 2D perspective. Basically The Legend of Zelda, but in 2D. While this game was confusing, it was a fun, great experience, but due to the landscape of gaming changing, the game didn't age all that well. So in 2004, Nintendo decided it was time to remake the game from the ground up with a more well-thought layout, better graphics, and overall different design, and most importantly, a new fancy name, and that name was Metroid Zero Mission. As a proper remake, this would also get new content added that the original did not have. Just like Metroid Fusion, this game was released for the Game Boy Advance. The game's story is quite simple, and the introduction of it is told with the intro cutscene of the game, which is told with a bit of urgency in its music. And once the game starts, Samus tells the player about her first mission, the so-called Zero Mission. This is one of the two reasons the game is called Zero Mission, but more about that second meaning later. Either way, Samus is supposed to destroy the Metroid threat and destroy the space pirate base on planet Zebes, and throughout the game, you are prepared for what to come, with short cutscenes that are somewhat dark in tone. The gameplay doesn't evolve much in comparison to previous Metroid titles, but there are a few changes and a few new things introduced, as well as something reintroduced. First of all, Long Beam makes its glorious return from the original Metroid, making your puny starting range reach the other side of the room. Gripping becomes its own power-up as Power Grip. Shine Sparking introduces Ball Sparking, and there are unknown items added. Wall Jumping returns to free movement, at the very least once you have Screw Attack. You also get a hint system in the game, you activate using chosen statues. Some of these are optional, while others are forced. This game does give you the option to sequence break, just like Super Metroid, by getting some items early. Finally, the last thing the game introduces I will keep a secret until the Donald Blade authorizes it. Other than that, bomb jumping has been made easier than ever, and just with any Metroid games, a lot of its strength lies with the boss fights, so let's go through them, shall we? King Worm. The first boss of the game, as the name suggests, he's a king-sized worm. He traps you inside his thick, throbbing body as he tries to attack you with his claws attached to his eyes, giving you time to hit his eye, which is his weak spot. While you are trapped, it flings spikes at you, which you can destroy for energy and missile refills. Take too long and the king worm escapes, and you have to fight it somewhere else. Kill it and you're rewarded Charge Beam. Not the most fun or interesting boss fights, but it gets the job done. Mua! Attacks you after you've activated a rail system. Attacks you by trying to ram its mouth at you. Its weak spot are its red glowing eyes. Once close to defeat, it also rises the acid levels while becoming faster. If you sequence break the game and have early Varia suit, this boss fight is a joke. It can be rather fun despite its easy difficulty, as you have to think quickly. Kraid. He's big, he's green, and he dies easy. Kraid can be a rather fun boss fight when he's not crushed within 11 seconds. Attacking you using his flying homing claws and giant stomach spikes you can use as platforms. Blast him in the face with missiles to make him open his mouth, then proceed to fill his mouth with missiles, and Kraid dies before you can scream, Donald Blade on the ground! What the... The Kraid fight is enjoyable for what it is though, and quick killing him is even more fun. Kraid is one of the main bosses that guards the gate to Torian, the final area of the game. Gero. A giant larva that has been caught in vines hanging from the ceiling. A flying ripper flies around the room and serves as a platform you can freeze to easily shoot missiles at the vines that is holding it up. While you do this, you are attacked by spores, similar to the fight against Spore Spawn from Super Metroid. Once defeated, Gero will fall through the ground, opening up the passageway down to the area known as Ridley. It will lie in the ground, hardening its shell, and finally burrow its way through the ground until it reaches a chamber where it lays its eggs. Imago. Imago is the evolved form and final evolution of the Gero. The boss fight starts after Samus breaks all its eggs, either by accident or purpose. Once reaching the dead end, Imago will come down from the sky and start attacking Samus by either charging after her or shooting stingers at her. Imago's weak spot is its tail, so just shoot it a couple of times until it ends the fight by crashing into the wall, giving you your first super missiles, if you didn't sequence break, that is. Ridley. Ridley is so nice. He lets you enter his boss room and lets you grab the unknown item before he swoops down from the ceiling and starts attacking Samus. He has his iconic tail attack alongside shooting fireballs at you. This is a very enjoyable fight, and as always you can never go wrong with enjoyment when you fight against Ridley. After killing Ridley, the final gate to Torian has opened up, as Ridley is the second main boss of the game. It's time to make your way through Torian to complete your mission. Upon entering the room before the elevator, the two statues will open their mouths, revealing the passage to Torian. Once you go down the elevator, it's time for a brief cutscene to prepare you for the Metroids. You will have to kill all the Metroids upon entering each and every room, up until you reach the final hallway, where you have to destroy the Sabotites in order to reach Mother Brain, the final boss. Watch out for the acid and blast open Mother Brain's jar to begin the final boss fight. Mother Brain. Mother Brain stays in her capsule the entire time, but she has been changed in comparison to her boss fight in the original Metroid. This time, she actually fights back, besides the rings and cannons. Her weak spot is her eye, but she can close it, and once she does, she will start blinking purple. Then she proceeds to shoot a huge laser at you. Well, it's not the most challenging boss. It's a lot of fun and can be quite a challenge if you aren't too careful. Once defeated, Mother Brain will blow up and activate a time bomb, so in classic Metroid fashion, you have to escape before the timer hits 0. They've expanded on escape ever so slightly by having you run to the actual ship. Once you reach your ship, Samus deactivates her suit and prepare for a relaxing journey back home as she gets attacked by space pirates! With Samus' ship and suit gone, all she have left is her Zero suit, and the Zero Mission can begin. In her Zero suit, all she can use is a stun pistol that has to be fully charged for her to stun enemies with. Funny enough, Metroid can crawl this time around. For the record, this is a final new added feature of the game that I didn't tell you about previously. You have to sneak into the space pirate mothership and make your way through it. I remember playing this section as a kid and struggling with it a lot. Sneaking around and running away from the space pirates are a lot of fun, and lucky for you, you run into save points that fully heal your energy. Eventually, you'll make it into a temple, and at the most intersection of it, you end up inside a room that has you fight against another boss. Rubens Test. Rubens Test is a weird boss, especially if you don't know what you're supposed to do. It's a statue that holds a magical orb that has Samus in the middle of it. It will go around in an 8-figure pattern, while trying to shoot you down with lightning. If you shoot at Samus, you will take damage yourself, so you have to wait for the orb to change from Samus into a weird symbol. Once it shows the symbol, shoot with a fully charged stun shot. Do this 4 times to win against it, and receive the fully upgraded Varia suit. It activates the 3 unknown items collected, which are the following: Space Jump, Gravity Suit, and Plasma Beam. Once this is over, you're a powerhouse, and your final task is to get to the mothership's central computer after grabbing the power bombs, of course. It's inside the central computer where you will encounter the true final boss of the game, Wrigley Robot. As the name suggests, it's a robotic version of Ridley. Its weak spot is a glowing red orb guarded by an easily destroyed glass case. It will slowly crawl forward to you in the boss fight, will attack you by trying to claw you with his robotic claw and blasting you with missiles. This is yet another one of those boss fights that are harder at 100%. Can be rather fun to fight against, but not the most difficult of bosses for a final boss. After he dies, he shuts down and activates another time bomb, forcing you to escape the mothership and making you escape from the hangar where 2 elite pirates guard the gate for your escape. After you kill them, you steal one of the ships and one pirate tries to make a final attempt at killing you before you steal the ship and make your escape as the game cuts to credits. So, that's all the bosses of the game. One final thing to mention is that after you get the power bombs, you are free to roam the game, collecting what you've missed. Returning to Torian shows you some lasting effects to the Mother Brain Chamber and the escape room, which are a nice touch, making you feel like an impact of the explosion was made. So, what do I think of Metroid Zero Mission then? And is it worth getting and playing for yourself? Simple answer is yes. The game is a great remake of the original, and it blends the old layout with the new one greatly, both in terms of how each area look, but also with the ease of finding your way in it, as it's less maze-like, and less similar in its areas as the original game was. Not only that, the game music is great, the areas are fun and enjoyable to go through, and the gameplay is solid. You can do plenty of sequence breaks in the game, making the game faster to play through and the route for 100% easier. It also gives you enough secrets and free exploration, so it doesn't feel like the game is holding your hands. Samus's movement feels amazing, making it easy to pick up and play on the go as well. So do yourself a favor and go out there and play the second best Metroid game out there. Hello everyone, thank you very much for watching this review of Metroid Zero Mission. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, thank you to Hikikomori Media for your patronage. And thank you very much Patrick Peterson for your patronage as well. And new things are coming to Patreon, so if you haven't signed up there, maybe you should. Either way, thank you very much for watching everyone, and I hope to see you next mission.